Hey y'all, it's Yvette, and it's my last day in Louisiana. So I thought I would come over and tell you how it's been. Okay, so as I told you guys, gosh, I guess it was over a week ago now, that I was planning to go to the original Sewing and Quilt Expo in New Orleans, Louisiana, which was actually in Kenner, which is a little neighborhood in New Orleans. So I got here last week on Tuesday, and I think it's probably still kind of a mystery to most of my family. Not that we were trying to keep it a huge secret, but my little sister and I just wanted to have a couple days together by ourselves. And she wants to get into quilting, which, you know, makes me very, very excited. So she came and met me in New Orleans, and we went, well, the first day, if you guys have been watching my stories, the very first day that I arrived, we went and got sort of matching tattoos. So it's basically the same design, and we just got slightly different colors from each other. I got mine here on my shoulder, and she got hers on her foot. So that was a lot of fun. I didn't know what to expect. I'd never had a tattoo before, and I like it. So I'm excited about having it, and that we have something that we can share together. So that was a lot of fun. The next day we were, that was a Wednesday, and the expo was Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So on Wednesday, we decided we were just gonna spend the day in New Orleans and have a good time. And that's what we did. We went downtown and walked up and down the streets, had a lot of fun, if you saw my stories. And I'm telling you, she and I have had a lot of good times together, but I think I'll really cherish that because it was just T and me, and we had a great time. So then on Thursday, we went in the morning to the expo, and we stayed as long as we possibly could until we had to drive back to Lafayette for her to be able to pick her kids up off the school bus. There was just a scheduling conflict that ended up happening, and it wasn't really a big deal. We had a good time at the expo. We got to see, I'm pretty sure, everything, and if not everything, almost everything. So we both had a very good time at doing that. We had a great time driving back to Lafayette. She dropped me off to pick up a rental car, and then she went this way and I went that way. And then I gave her some time to get some things done at home, and then I went and spent the evening at her house with her family. She is married to this wonderful guy. His name's Todd. I really like him a lot. And he makes her happy, and that really makes me happy. And they have 3 little girls, and I got to spend time with them. They have a dog, and they have at least 1 cat, maybe 2. They kind of like, you know, the cats in their neighborhood kind of like come in and out of the house, and she lets them come in or out or whatever they want. So not really how I raise my kitties, but you know, she knows what she wants to do, and she lets her kitties do what they want to do, and that's just perfectly fine. So that was Thursday. Friday, well, Thursday night, I don't know why, but I started thinking, you know, I should probably like maybe hand some flyers out. And so I went and picked up my mama, and well, the night before I had sent some flyers over to Home Depot to be printed. Why did I just say Home Depot? Office Depot. They had them ready like within an hour of being open, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I went and I picked them up, and I told Mama, I'm like, well, you're holding the package of flyers, and we're gonna drive from quilt shop to quilt shop to quilt shop to quilt shop and ask them if they will hang up a flyer for me. So everybody did. It was great. We ended up eating at, now I say Fezzo's, my mama says Fezzo's. If you're from Louisiana, whatever it is you say is fine. I don't know which one is actually correct. We kind of argue about it. We don't argue. But I had told some people that I was going to eat crawfish for them. So we went there because they have really good seafood. And I got crawfish and tasso pasta, and it came with angel hair, and it was yummy. It was really good. So I don't remember what my mama got. You know what? It's a big thing in Louisiana to talk about food. So I should have probably made note of what my mama got, but I don't remember. So then we left there, and we had sent a text to my sister-in-law, Kristen, who's married to my brother, George, and asked if we could come by and see them. And she was like, yes, please come by. So we left Fezzo's and drove over there. They don't live very far from there. So we got to see Kristen, and we got to see their 3 kids. So they have 2 boys and a girl. So they've got Michael, Liam, and Reagan. And it was great to spend time with them. So we stayed until probably about 10. Did we stay till 10, or was it 9:30? It's pretty late. It was probably close to 10. So we left, and I went and I dropped Mama off, and then I came back to the hotel. What did I do anything? No, I came back to the hotel. So then went to bed, got up in the morning. Then that was Saturday, and I didn't really have any plans until dinner. And I had plans to meet with some girlfriends from high school, and I was really excited about that. And it was so funny because they had said they wanted to meet at 5:30, and I'm texting in there, I'm like, how old are we that we're eating at 5:30? And then Christy said to me, she goes, well, if y'all get there at 5:30, then you have hours to spend together. And I'm like, you know what? You're absolutely right. I have been looking at this in the entirely wrong way. So we had dinner together. I think originally there were supposed to be like 8 of us, but then plans started falling through for a lot of us, and then there ended up being only 4 of us meeting in the end. So but we had a great time, got to catch up, talk. Oh my goodness, you guys, I love it. I don't think I've been to one of my high school reunions yet. I think I came for one of them and then ended up not going, and I don't remember why. I want to say there was one of them that we were supposed to have, and I was going to be coming or going to the reunion, whatever term you want to use. And then I think it might have happened, like something happened around COVID. Because was that in 2020? Y'all, I really don't remember. All I know is that I have still not yet attended one of my high school reunions. So I think, and hopefully I can go to the next one, because I don't know. I don't know if I wasn't ready to do it yet, or if there were, I really don't know. Couldn't really tell you. But I think I would really enjoy it now. And so next one they have, I'm definitely going. So what else? Oh, okay. So we ended up going to this restaurant called Hacienda, and okay, this, you guys, you're gonna love this story. Okay, so I get to Eunice. This is where I grew up for most of my life. I went to school in Eunice from kindergarten to 11th grade. And so anyway, Hacienda used to be on Laurel on, I'm just going to say, if you were going this way, I'm not even going to say north, south, east, west, because don't ask me what that is. But if you're going one way down Laurel, it was on the left side. Okay, that was the original location of the restaurant. Now, this restaurant was not there the whole time I was growing up. It had been established many years later, and, you know, after I had come back to visit a few times, then it was there. So the last time, okay, I'm gonna fast forward to Saturday, okay? Because if I tell you the other part, that it's probably gonna give away what I was gonna say, and I don't want that to happen yet. So, so I'm getting into Eunice, and I'm gonna get back to that part. I have something in my head, but I always do this, y'all. I'm trying very hard to have clear, concise thoughts and not deviate until later. So anyway, when it was time for me to go and meet the girls, I'm driving to Hacienda, and I'm looking on this side of the road. I'm looking, it's not there. So I'm like, okay, I obviously must have missed it. So I turned around and I come back the other direction, and I'm looking, and I can't find it. And so I finally said, okay, this is crazy. I've like driven up and down. Laurel is not a big road. Okay, let me just tell y'all. Eunice is a blink and you miss it city. Okay, town, whatever you want to call it. So, so finally I stop in a parking lot and I send a message to all the girls, and I was like, where did y'all put Hacienda? Who lifted up Hacienda and moved it? And everybody's like, oh, I don't know. It's in the same place it's been, you know, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, Hacienda used to be on this side of the road, but it has been for quite some time now across the street. Like they moved it to they built a bigger restaurant and moved themselves across the street. Now, I've been to the new location, but for some reason, I was still looking for it here where it started and not in the new place where it is now. So, okay, so we all had a great laugh about that. And before that, because I had gotten to town a little bit early, I thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna go and I want to drive through the neighborhood that I lived in Eunice first, because this neighborhood was the neighborhood that my mom and dad moved into. I was born in Lafayette, and they lived in Lafayette for a little while. I'll be honest with you, I haven't the slightest clue where my little brother was born. Was he born in Lafayette? Was he born? I really don't know. I think he might have been born in Lafayette, but anyway, at some point we had moved to Eunice. I was obviously young enough that I don't remember all that. But so I thought, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna look at our old house in Hillcrest Heights. I realize how crazy this is, perhaps, but this is the neighborhood that I grew up in Eunice, Louisiana. And I just had this crazy idea that I was going to drive down here. I'm driving very slowly. It's a neighborhood. The house that's directly in front of us, that's sort of like a light gray, that house was not there whenever I lived here. The house to the left of it that I'm going to turn right here, that's the house I grew up in. Yep, that house right there. I don't want to scare anybody. I'm not going to keep driving by or anything. It's just memories, you know, and they didn't have that extra, we didn't have that extra carport there. I just thought I'd share that. Which Hillcrest Heights is right next to the high school. And I went to that high school until until the 11th grade. And then for my senior year, I moved back to Lafayette. We're not even gonna get into all that. But anyway, so I lived there with my mom and until, I don't remember how old I was, but my mom sold the house. And I think my mama moved to Lafayette. Y'all, for those of you who can remember every iota of your life, do not take that for granted, because I don't know why, but I don't remember everything like I should, or at least like I think I should. But I do know that my dad has lived in a few places in Eunice, but the last place that I lived with my dad was on Eula Street. And he has sold that house even since then. And now he lives like in a neighborhood that's across the street from LSUE. And I think his neighborhood is University Place. So he lives back in that neighborhood. And so I made this little video of the house that I grew up in as a little girl. And gosh, there's so many stories about that neighborhood. So many stories. I mean, we all have we all grew up in different times and different places and formative years, I mean, I don't know. And so it was nice to go and drive through the neighborhood again. It's funny to me how everything about it seems so much smaller, like that always happens to us though. So I finally got to dinner with the girls and we ate, and they basically had to kick us out of the restaurant. We were having so much fun. And then on Sunday, I went and got my mom again. I told her, I was like, this is gonna be our Mother's Day because, even though it was the weekend before, I'm here and I'd like this to be our Mother's Day. So I took her to lunch. We were gonna go to lunch at Don's Seafood. We got there, it was packed because Don's always has like a brunch. And so they said that the wait was 35 minutes. I wouldn't have minded waiting. Like if my mama wanted to sit and wait for Don's, listen, I would have been happy to wait for 35 minutes. It probably wouldn't have even been that long. You know what I mean? But we got back in the car. So I got back in the car and I said to her, I'm like, I put our name in, but I told her that if we decided to go somewhere else, that I would call and cancel the booking. And so she says, okay. And then so we sat in the car. She goes, well, let's go somewhere else. And I said, okay, where do you want to try next? I don't remember how many different places like we considered, but we ended up deciding to go to Dwight's barbecue. Listen, all I know is that the sign on the front says Dwight's, just says Dwight's. And so we went in, and when we got inside, they were sort of like, did you put an order in? And we were like, oh no, can we get a table? And they said, yeah, but today we're only doing our plate lunches. And I don't know if y'all have had plate lunches in South Louisiana, but if you ever have the opportunity, get one. Because they're always amazing. So she says we're about done, so you can only choose with what we have left. So they had left, I only remember 2 of the things. There was 3 proteins you could pick from. You could either get sausage, a pork steak, or ribs. That's the other one. The third one was ribs. And then for the sides, all they had was rice dressing and baked beans. And so my mama went first, and she was all like, I want the pork steak and the rice dressing and the beans sounds great. So I'm sitting there and I said, can you tell me what that is back there again? The ribs, because I knew they had said it, but again, out the head. And so she goes, oh, it's it's ribs. And I said, you know what? I want exactly what my mama ordered. Because honestly, like that pork steak looked amazeballs. So, so we got it. And well, then they asked if we wanted like sliced bread or something else. And I was like, whatever the bread is that's right there is fine. And my mama was like, no bread, you know. She was like, my carb can just be everything else. And so, so we got our stuff, we got some drinks. And they do have like a place where you can go and sit and eat. So we went and sat down and ate. And, oh my gosh, you guys, that was so good. Oh my goodness. It was, and honestly, like, it has been quite a while since I have literally like almost made myself sick eating, because it was so good. I didn't want to stop eating. Isn't that terrible? That is terrible. I am such a Southern Louisiana girl. But of course I did stop eating, not soon enough probably, but I did stop eating. And, oh my, you guys, that pork steak, it fell apart, like in your mouth, on your fork. It just fell apart. You only needed a fork, really. That's all you needed. The rice dressing, so good. Oh my goodness. I saw that and I was like, unbelievable, y'all. I didn't even eat any of the baked beans because I was like, nope, I want these two things right here. I did eat one piece of bread because I told my mom, I was like, how could I not eat the bread? How can I not eat bread? I don't know. She didn't eat bread, but I had to have bread. It was so good. It was so good. It's probably a good thing I don't live in Louisiana anymore, because I mean, although, you know, I said to her, I said, you know, but if I lived here, then I would know that absolutely I can get this almost any time I want. So I really don't have to overeat it. I don't have to have, you know, I could just go and get a little bit. I would be fine with just a little bit, but it just looks so, I have not had anything so good in so long. So, so then after that, all us goyles. So it was me, Mama, T, her 3 girls, and Kristen. We all went and got mani-pedis at King J's, and they were wonderful. Like when I called about a week before I left, maybe a little bit more than a week, and I made the booking for all of us to go, and they, you know, they were like, oh, you have all these people, do you want to rent our VIP room? She's like, we just take your party in there and y'all are all together, but yes, let's do that. So we had our own room, and all of the, you know, technicians were there and helping us, and we had so much fun. That was so fun. And then unfortunately Kristen had to go home, and T had to go to work. So I took the girls, and I had already cleared it with their father, Todd, and he said yes, I could take them to dinner. So I said to Mom, I'm like, well, we're gonna take you to dinner, and now it's gonna be an entire day just for Mom. She got lunch, she got mani-pedi, and then we were going for dinner. Of course, she and I both were just looking at each other like, I can hardly eat another bite. But the girls needed to eat, and so I was like, well, let's go. And I was like, you know, I can just get a nibble of something, really, just so that we all feel like we're all, you know, together having a meal, you know, whatever. So we ended up going to Dino's. Okay, so we're at Dino's, and what do you call it? When you were younger.
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to call it Dean C's.
Because it looks like a C.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are we having tonight, girls?
Pepperoni pizza. Pepperoni pizza!
What kind of pepperoni?
Curly pepperoni. Regular and curly pepperoni.
Yes. Can't wait. How excited are you, Mama?
I'm excited.
We are really excited. All right, we're waiting for the pizza. Look at everybody's all excited. Dino's is special to me. My best friend from high school, her family owned Dino's, and I don't know if anybody in her family still owns it. I really don't, just to be honest. It's been like, I mean, you know, how long has it been since I've been in high school? Not telling you, I'm kidding. It's been a while though. It's been 32 years? 32 years since I graduated high school. So, is that right? Yes, it is. So I'm not sure anymore, but, so it's always been a special place, and I just love Dino's. Dino's has pizza and pasta, and of course they have like Cajun style like pizza and pasta. So it was really good, and of course we asked the girls, we were like, what would you like? And Abby and Charlie both wanted just pepperoni pizza. That's all, they just pepperoni pizza. And so I asked Riley, I'm like, do you want pepperoni pizza? And she's like, I don't know. And she's looking at the menu like a lot. And eventually, because she was so indecisive, she finally just said, I'll just have pepperoni pizza. So I said to Mom, I'm like, look, I'm just gonna get like a giant pepperoni pizza, and you and I can have like a slice or two, you know, because they cut the slices like pretty small, you know. It's like, so I was like, we can just have a, you know, 1 or 2 slices of pizza and then let the girls eat. And if we really want more, we can get more. I mean, it's not, you know, whatever, not a big deal. Oh, and they had to have cheese sticks to start. So they had cheese sticks, and then we got the pizza. And then I brought the girls home, and then I brought Mom home, and then I went back to the hotel. It had been a very long day. And that leads to today. And so today I got up and I went and I spent the whole day at my daddy's house, back in Eunice. And we went to lunch at Mr. Gaddy's, because that's like apparently this big thing. Everybody, you know, he's got a schedule and, you know, and all this kind of stuff. So, we went to Mr. Gaddy's. We came back to his house, and I absolutely had the best visit I have ever had with my dad and my stepmom. And then we went to DC's for dinner. We had chicken crackling and crawfish something. It was appetizers, but they were good. It was like crawfish rolled in seasoning and like breaded and deep fried, I guess. I'm sure they were deep fried. And that was good. And I had a little small bowl of gumbo, and then I went and dropped them at home and came back to the hotel. And I have just had such, I mean, other than the only thing I regret is that I was not able to see my brother George. It's probably partly my fault. It is mostly my fault, because I decided at the last minute to do this trip, and I know I should have done better about getting in touch with everybody. But my life is crazy. Y'all know that. Everybody's life is crazy. Other than that, it has honestly been the best trip that I can remember. And I just feel so blessed to have had it. And so I wanted to come and share this with you guys. I know I tell you guys so much about me and my life, and this is just another piece of it. am very happy tonight, even though I'm going home tomorrow. It's okay, because I had such a good time. And thank you for listening. Thank you for coming and watching this video. And I feel like I am ready to go home and hit the ground running with everything that I need to do. I just feel like I'm in a place where I can do this, you know what I mean? Like, and I just feel blessed in so many ways. So thanks again, and I'll see you guys real soon. Bye.